Hi, Peter again, Romford Horror Film Festival. I'm here with Phillip Brown, who's the writer-director of Love in Vain. Phillip, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So your film played this weekend. How was it to see it on the big screen?
Yeah, no, it's incredible. It was nice seeing it with an audience as well. Got a lot of laughs in the right places, and went down a treat.
Great stuff. So Love in Vain, tell us what's the premise of the film?
So it's about a vampire girl who uses a dating app similar to something like Tinder to lure men in. However, world kind of gets turned upside down when she meets a guy that she kind of likes, and then proceeds to conceal her true kind of self.
Yeah, it's a really great concept. It's really original, I thought. It was good fun. So how long ago did you have this idea? When did it start?
I think it was. So it was originally done as a graduation film for my uni. I think it came around winter of 2019. That's when the writing process kind of started. And then we went into shooting it the following year, just early March.
So was that before the pandemic or just as it hit?
We finished wrapping a week before we went into lockdown.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, very very close to.
So since then, have you been working on it in post, or have you been sort of waiting to screen it somewhere, or what, or both maybe?
A combination of both.
Yeah.
The post period got extended because in terms of my team, we had to figure out a completely new workflow. Everything kind of changed with lockdown. So it took a little bit longer to get it to the version that it is now.
Okay.
And yes, there was also a much more extended waiting process because we wanted to. We toured with some online festivals, but we really wanted it to be seen, live on a cinema screen.
Of course. Yeah. So in terms of raising the money, is that coming because it was a part of your graduation thing, or is it past that point where you had to find funding yourself? So
the film school, we had access to all of their kit, so that cut costs, and they gave us £1,000, and then we raised an additional £500 through Kickstarter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of casting, how do you go about casting this film?
I used two actors that I'd worked with before, and so Ellie and Sam, I kind of cast them in a couple role before, so I knew they had the chemistry and the back and forth, and they were just really great friends. Okay. So it was vital to me that we were able to kind of build that chemistry between the characters quite quickly because of the short form nature of it. So I knew they'd be able to do that, and I brought them in. I did a screen test just to prove to the uni that it'd work, and they smashed it, and we started.
Yeah. Okay. How long did the shoot take?
It was a 5-day shoot altogether. Okay. Yeah.
And how many different locations? Was it a few?
So it's about there's 3 total. So we've got we used a function room for the restaurant. We just dressed it to make it look like a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
We shot at a hotel for the open scene hotel. Yeah. And then for the bathroom scenes, the bathrooms at the pub function room that we were using, they were just way too small. Right. And it just wasn't practical for some of the stuff that was written in the script. So we used the film school toilets and then dressed them up and put some neon lighting and things like that to make it look a lot more kind of grimy. Definitely, yeah. It does look like kind of a restaurant toilet. So in terms of your influences, did you have any influences or films that you enjoyed that you thought of or that came in mind? I mean, it's an original concept. Was there any films, I don't know, that you maybe enjoyed that were similar? Or there's actually a film that we kind of tip our hat to in the movie called Kronos, where in the bathroom scene, because what I like about that film is it doesn't really glamorise the vampire concept, and turns it on its head, and it's kind of the depiction of the characters much more like parasitic. I kind of like that idea of taking that and implement it into the film. So I was like, at first, when we open the film, we have a more traditional kind of the sexy vampire kind of
iconography, and then that scene's kind of a turning point where in the bathroom where she kind of licks the blood off, like it feels nasty and dirty, and it takes the glamour away.
Yeah.
And there's a very similar scene in Kronos where a guy licks blood off the floor, so that was kind of our way of nodding to that film in a sense.
Is that the Del Toro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good film. So you also did the music on this film. How did you approach that? Are you a musician, or how did you?
An amateur musician, like it's something that I do in my free time, and whenever I start a project, as soon as the script's done, I just jump straight into the music and find the musical landscape of it, and then from that usually stays, and there might be like a few iterations of that along the way, but as soon as I get to the editing process, there's usually no more scoring. I just cut to the score that I've got, and Fame was no different.
So in terms of future projects, are you writing anything now? Are you shooting? Have you got plans to?
I'm in the middle of writing something, so I'm thinking about expanding Vane and writing a feature film version of it. We had an idea of kind of where her character would go after that interaction that you see in the short, and doing kind of a character piece.
So we're at a horror festival. Have you got a particular favourite horror film?
I would say, at the festival, or
either one in the festival that you enjoyed this weekend?
I'll give you two answers for that. Okay. So I'll say Piglet's Tale at Romford. It was an incredibly crazy short film.
Yeah.
Powerful message. Powerful vegan message at the end of it, and really hard hitting short with great art direction in it. Favourite horror film of all time, I'd say Evil Dead, hands down.
Okay. Got a few answers for that this weekend.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.